students, and welcome back to our Principles of Management class. In our previous lecture, we studied decision making. Today, we are going to explore a chapter that is often called the heart of management, which is planning. Planning is the foundation upon which all other managerial functions, organizing, leading, and controlling are built. Without planning, managers work blindly and organizations lost their direction. To illustrate this, let me share an example. Boeing launched its new aircraft, the Dreamliner, with a great enthusiasm. It was supposed to be the company's most successful project, but poor planning caused delays of more than 2 years, and many customers canceled their orders. So, despite having a great technology, Boeing's ambition and rigid plan failed to match the reality. So, this shows us that no matter how powerful the product or a team, without effective planning, success is difficult. So, firstly, we need to understand what planning actually is. Planning is defining organizational goals, establishing strategies, and developing plans to coordinate activities. It answers two basic questions. What do we want to achieve? Means what are the ends, and how will we achieve it? By using what means we are going to achieve the goals or outcomes. So, planning is usually formal, meaning written goals are shared with employees to avoid any kind of ambiguity and ensure everyone is aligned. If you were to plan your final exam preparation, what would be the goal and what would be the plan? Think about it. Why do managers plan? There are four main reasons. Provide directions. Employees know what they must achieve. So, planning provides direction. For example, in a university, if a goal is to increase research output, teachers know they must work on publications and supervisions. Planning reduces uncertainty. Plans help anticipate changes. For example, during COVID-19, universities shifted to online learning because contingency plans were in place. Planning also minimizes waste because coordinated plans highlight inefficiencies. For example, a factory that plans raw material usage save costs and reduce redundancy. Planning also sets standards for control. Without plan, manager cannot measure performance. For example, a sales team sets a target, provides a benchmark against which actual sales are evaluated. So, planning helps us to control the outcomes as well. What is the relationship between planning and performance? Is planning always beneficial? Study shows that formal planning is usually linked to higher performance, better profit, better ROI, and efficiency. However, the impact depends on implementation quality, means good planning plus good execution is equal to success. Also, external environment, too much regulations or unexpected crisis may reduce the effectiveness of planning. Research also shows that at least 4 years of formal planning is needed before results show. For example, AT&T underestimated the usage of Apple iPhones when they become the exclusive network provider. The unexpected demand caused network issues. This shows how external uncertainty can affect even the best laid plans. Now, coming to the next point, goals and plans. Planning involves two core elements. First is goals, which we also called objectives. These are the desired outcomes. For example, increase market share, what you want to achieve. So, these are the goals, and the plans are the documents that show how those goals will be achieved, how we are going to allocate the resources, how we plan our marketing campaigns, what is our hiring process to achieve those goals. For example, McDonald's financial goal is 3 to 5% annual sales growth. So, it plans menu expansion, global presence, better supply chain management. There are different types of goals. Organizations don't have just one goal, they balance multiple. Here we classify goals into different types. Number one is strategic goals. Strategic goals always focus on long-term directions. For example, Bloomberg's goal is to the world's most influential news organization. So, that is a strategic goal. Whereas the financial goals are, which are focused on measurable financial performance. For example, profit margins, profit targets, return on investments. Next is stated goals versus real goals. Stated goals are those goals are what company says publicly. For example, Nike is delivering inspiration and innovation, that is their stated goal. But the real goal are what their action shows. Actual focus on increasing product launches or reducing their cost. So, think about universities. They state that their goal is to give personal attention to every student, but in practice many classes have 100 plus students. So, which is the real goal and which one is stated? After types of goals, we discussed different types of plans. Here in your book there are different types of plans. Our plans have different important dimensions: breadth, time frame, specificity and frequency of use. So, the first dimension is breadth, which distinguishes between strategic and operational plans. Strategic plans are broad in nature and created at the top management level to set the overall direction for the organization. For example, Amazon's decision to expand into a cloud computing with AWS was a strategic plan, as it shapes the company long-term growth and position it in a global leader in technology. But on the other hand, operational plans are more specific and focus on day-to-day activities within the departments. For example, the HR department of a university designing a training schedule for a faculty development is creating an operational plan that supports the institution's strategic vision of academic excellence. The second dimension of plan is the time frame. Plans can be long term, covering more than 3 years, or short term, usually for 1 year or for less. For example, Tesla's long term plan to develop fully autonomous vehicles is a strategic initiative that spans year of research and innovation, while a short term plan could be a 3-month sales campaign or launching a new iPhone model at Apple. So, this is time frame. Plans can be short term and long term as well. The third dimension is specificity, which leads with how clearly the plans are defined. Specific plans are detailed, measurable and leave little room for interpretation. For example, a bank deciding to open a 50 new branches in rural areas within 2 years is a specific plan with clear objectives. In contrast, direction plans are more flexible and provide general guidelines without locking managers into a strict objectives. For example, a music company may simply set a goal of signing more promising artists this year without specifying the number or generous, leaving room for more flexibility based on market trends. And finally, plans differ in terms of frequency of use. Some are single use plans and some are standing plans. Single use plans are developed for unique one-time situation, such as hosting a university convocation ceremony or managing the opening of a new factory. So, this is a single use plan. They are not repeated once the event is over. But on the other hand, standing plans are ongoing and provide consistent guidance for repeated activities. For example, an organization HR policy on employee leave or a company safety procedures in its factory, we have standing plans since they are applied continuously whether the or whenever the situation arises. So, we have different types of plan and different types of goals, and manager adjust their plans and goals accordingly. So far we have learned what is actually planning, the definition of planning, why we need planning, what is the purpose of planning, and how planning link with performance. And afterward we learn about different types of goals and plans. So planning gives direction, but it is not enough to simply write goals and reports. The real challenges lies in how managers set goals, involve employees, and implement plans effectively. So in first we discussed all these. In part 2 we will discuss approaches to goal setting. There are different approaches, management by objective. Then we learn also the planning process, different contingency factors, and how managers can plan effectively in this dynamic environment. So that is all about today's lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.